There are some people who have worked hard, saved hard, and you would like to get retired earlier in your 50s. And that's more than possible, but it depends on many factors. So if you're starting in your 50s, you need to remember a few things will influence your ability to retire at that early age. Hi, folks. This is Colin Richards. I'm president and founder of Lord & Richards. And once again, I'm excited to be talking to you today about the top questions that I'm hearing out there in the marketplace about retirement. You know, people are meeting with my team and I every single day, and they have questions and concerns related to retirement. And a lot of those questions are concerns about things that are out of their control, right? Like government policies, the market, and how that may impact their ability to retire. And I'm hearing the same thing from all of you. And so what I'm going to do is a little series here on the top retirement questions answered. And I'm going to give you the answers that I'm giving people every single day in our offices. And what we do then, as we answer those questions, we help you build a comprehensive plan. We call it a financial independence roadmap, so that you can retire without worry, knowing that the questions and concerns that you have about what can affect retirement have been answered and dealt with in advance. And that's a great feeling. We call it being financially independent. So one of the key factors in answering this simple question, what are the top retirement questions, is, do I have enough? This is one of the top questions I get every single time. Do I have enough? Have I saved enough for retirement? You can go out and do a Google search and you'll see all kinds of answers about that. But we're actually the practitioners on the ground dealing with this problem every single day. And I'm going to tell you over the next several episodes how you can have that question answered. Do I have enough to retire? So let's start with a very simple first step. What age do you want to retire? What age do you want to retire? And if you're selecting an early age, then you've just got to make sure that you've prepared for that. By early, I'm typically talking about something earlier than what the Social Security Administration calls full retirement age, which for most people today is 67. You say, wow, that sounds like a long time. You know, I'd like to have more years in my retirement, Colin. I'd like to maybe get a plan together with you that will allow me to retire much sooner. Well, let's start with the 50s. There are some people who have worked hard, saved hard, and you would like to get retired earlier in your 50s. And that's more than possible, but it depends on many factors. So if you're starting in your 50s, you need to remember a few things will influence your ability to retire at that early age. First of all, you're going to have limitations on how you can access your IRAs and 401ks. Most people that I talk to have been building up into their savings through IRAs and 401ks. 401ks is the big one because a lot of people get a match, right? You contribute a certain percentage of your salary and the company matches it up to certain IRS limits. And 401ks have much more generous limits than traditional IRAs. So a lot of people are going to go that direction. And there's good reason to invest in a 401k and IRA. It's what we've been taught, for one thing. Number two, you get tax deferral on those funds. But here's the problem. Later on, when you're ready to access those funds, there's rules around when you can access them, and there's also taxes to be paid. If you just go in willy-nilly and start taking money out of your IRAs and 401ks before you turn 59 and a half, you may be subject to a penalty of up to 10% on top of the taxes you paid. And that can be onerous. That can be life-changing. So we don't want to do that. Now, there are some provisions in the law, such as Section 72T, that allow you to take substantially equal payments up to the time that you turn 59 and a half, so that the IRS has acknowledged, hey, there are some circumstances where people may need to tap into their retirement savings early. But just know that that is a complex kind of planning. And if you're thinking about retiring in your 50s, you absolutely got to talk to a fiduciary, somebody like Lord & Richards, who is accustomed to helping clients navigate the unique issues of retiring early. A second thing that a lot of people already know, but I want to make sure all of you are thinking of, is that if you retire early, you may have to bear the cost of your own health care. A lot of times we're used to our work picking up the majority, or if not all, of that cost. And so as we step out on our own, we leave the job behind. We leave behind the benefits that they offer to us. Healthcare, maybe life insurance, disability, dental, vision, and those costs come upon us. Now, if you've already factored that into your budget, great. But that's one of the key items you've got to factor in is what we call the gap from your early retirement age until you hit at least 65. At 65, Medicare chimes in and you're able to get the majority of your health care costs taken care of through that program. Although recognize, we're finding that retirees, even after Medicare, are going to need to adjust their budgets substantially. Most people don't realize that the average retiree is going to pay $500+ per month, and that cost only goes up each year in retirement after you've started Medicare. And just all the extra things, your supplement, any deductibles, prescription costs, all those things add up to over $500 a month per individual. So if you're a married household, you got to be amping up your budget to $1,000. Well, before 65, that can be even more. And I've really encouraged my clients, let us help you, because depending on how you take income, we can maybe get the cost of healthcare down through the healthcare exchange. I've actually got clients with substantial assets that are able to take advantage of subsidies and reduce their healthcare costs. There are also significant savings available out there through healthcare sharing type programs, Christian Healthcare Ministries, Medishare, and so on. And we've got experience with that and are helping people just like you to navigate those high costs of healthcare for those who retire early. And then don't forget, there's a couple of key income sources. Number one, some of you may have pensions that may not start paying out until later, right? So you might retire earlier, but your pension won't actually kick in until a certain age, maybe 62, 65, or so on. So you got to factor that in. Hey, I'm going to drain my savings faster. And then secondly, almost everybody has to deal with the fact that Social Security does not kick in until 62 in most cases. Now, there are some special benefits for widows and so forth, but what I want you to know is you're going to drain your assets at a faster rate if you start retiring early before you can take your Social Security. So that's got to be mathematically accounted for. You're going to take a bigger percentage early on. And that, of course, is the wrong time for most people. We don't want to drain our accounts early. We want them to do very well early in retirement. Does that mean we can't retire early? Absolutely not. Some of you have the resources. Some of you have access to income or ways to pay for health care. We just need to help you figure that out before you take the plunge. I would love to talk to you. My team and I would love to chat with you about whether or not you have enough to retire and what age you're planning to do it. It just starts with a simple phone call.